every time I have my headphones in when you do that.
Yeah, I have mine in too.
This is gonna be fun. This is gonna be real fucking fun.
Oh man.
I'm gonna use you, Mr. Daniels. Mr. Jack Daniels. I don't have that nice little case. I do have that nice little case.
Yeah.
Abby just wants a burger and fries, she says. I don't blame her. She loves bebops. That's crazy.
Is Abby coming?
No.
Oh. I've been just halfway through. Hey!
That would be kind of neat, but no. She's got her birthday party this weekend.
Oh, boring.
No, it's gonna be like a house party. Okay.
Yeah, it sounds awful.
That's rude.
House parties are the worst.
Fingers were in that.
That's fine. I don't care anymore. It's alcohol.
The alcohol
Yeah,
sanitizes it.
sure. So welcome to this episode of Dudes Watch Movie Podcast.
Oh, fuck no.
I am the notorious
We're starting.
G.
Shit.
And he's Dead Sprocket.
Hey.
And it's our 1 year anniversary.
1 fucking year. 1 year ago, we started on Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
What a trip that was.
Yeah, dig it.
Don't watch that. It's garbage.
Yeah, I can't recommend it.
Unless you want to start with the ideal setting of, hey, start the movie at this scene, watch it with us. It's very specific instructions. If you don't follow those, you have no idea what the fuck we're talking about. Just so you know.
Mm-hmm. And then from there, we decided that was an awful format.
It was.
Holy shit.
Upgrades.
And then we went to this route, and now
Got smart.
here we are. Oh boy. So we watched Legend of the Drunken Master.
Oh my god, did we ever? And that was actually an amazing fucking film. I want to say this flat out before you start watching this, although you're watching it now. Watch this fucking movie. It is legitimately good. When you think of old movies, you're like, I don't know how I might feel. This is actually legitimately really good. I like, as we say, a movie for its time. I apologize. These volumes might be a little over the top. What I'm saying right now, though, legit, this movie is really good. For being made in 1978, I shit you not. It's...
My manager just sent me that.
Save that shit. If you get an option.
I'll see if I can zoom in on that or not. But my manager sent me that picture. We took that yesterday.
God, I wish you had a Facebook still.
I think I might make that my background. I'm gonna download that real quick.
If you haven't already noticed, we are quite lit for A, our 1 anniversary, and B, watching Drunken Masters, which again I will say is a great movie. Fucking watch it if you haven't.
Yeah, it seemed like the thing to do at the time.
Very fitting. I need to make a drink while you begin speaking, and this is gonna be a bad idea.
Yeah. Oh, don't forget. Yeah, got one.
No, don't you crack a Coke?
No, I was gonna get some ice.
Oh, I've got a shitload of ice since you made me fucking take my cup of ice.
So you know how I was like, hey, Legend of the Drunken Master is my favorite Jackie Chan movie, and it's super good.
And I was like, hey, this I don't know how I feel about it because it's an old kung fu movie. I regret everything I said. You're right.
Well, it turns out this wasn't the movie.
What?
Yeah. So
well, I mean, either way.
And I was like, yo, I remember him talking and not having a weird voiceover. So there's a Legend of the Drunken Master 2 apparently from 1994, and that's the one that I saw and I like.
Well, I mean, so we're fitting the format in the sense of you're finally watching a movie you haven't watched.
Yeah.
Oh,
and it was
shit.
It was an amazing movie.
Folks. This is a first.
It was fantastic.
It was. I really loved it.
Ooh, it was everything I wanted it to be and everything I didn't know I needed.
Oh, this looks disgusting. Just so you know, I've been drinking White Russians all night, and so there's like rum chata, milk, vodka, Kahlua, and now I just dropped in rum and a Coke. Ugh.
Yeah, have fun.
Oh, I'm gonna have a blast. That being said, after watching this movie, I shit you not, as good as it was, I swear if I have a chance to own this, I will. If it means I gotta buy the digital download, I will. Like, it's that good.
You probably will have to.
I will gladly show everyone whom I know who haven't seen it. What?
I was burping away from the mic. Movie started off on just the perfect foot with Thunderfoot and the other guy and his mustache, and it's just like the facial hair in this movie is off the charts.
It is very 70s. Very, very 70s in the style, needless to say. Also, I forgot where I was going with that, but I'm going to read a plot.
Okay,
So
yeah, we should probably do that. We always do that, right?
Yes. I mean, yeah, we started. Anyway, so the father of Wong Fei Hong, who has been attempting to teach his son Kung Fu, but has found him too disobedient to teach and decides to send him off to his uncle, a cruel, torturous master of the 8 drunken Genny Kung Fu. After much suffering, the son comes back to rescue from. That's not the one I picked, but needless to say, father teaches son how to fight a master fight like a master, and said son fights like a master. Is basically the summary of it. Let's be real.
It's a pretty straightforward plot.
Very much so. By the way, this movie consists of about 20 fight scenes in the whole 1 hour and 51 minutes of this whole entire film.
The amount of ones there, it kind of felt like that many. I mean, that's like 11 to the 11th power.
There's a shitload of fight scenes.
Oh my god.
Regardless, they're very well done. And during all of these fight scenes, I was actually kind of impressed with the choreography that Jackie Chan has with him, especially all the different styles that he performs.
Oh yeah.
Granted, yes, it is 8 different I don't fucking remember. Several different Drunken Masters fighting styles. He does a very different fighting style for each, and it's very well performed. So bravo to you, Mr. Jackie Chan, who will never ever fucking see this, but I want you to know I'm very in awe by your technical expertise.
Also, you could tell that even in 1978, he was already kind of figuring out like, hey, I should use props and like comedy during the fight to help separate myself from everybody else that's doing kung fu movies. And
like I've said, for being 2018 and a film in 1978, it's very well done. The comedy is actually kind of funny. It's not kitschy. It's not like, man, okay, yeah, I get it. It's funny for the old times. Like it lives up to its time, whereas a lot of our films do not.
And I think part of that
and I'm not saying this because I'm inebriated, but legitimately, like, it was funny for how old it was.
And I mean, I think I decided Jackie Chan is right up there with Charlie Chaplin in terms of just like physical comedy.
Oh yeah,
like
100%.
The majority of what was funny was just the motions and the faces he was pulling, and his timing with it. It was hilarious.
And it's just like the extra technical aspects that he uses, where he was like, that one scene where he's hopping on the chair fighting, like no one would have thought of doing that, but he adds that in because it's fitting, but it's also comedy, like comedy for the situation that, and it's just stupid how awesome it fits.
And I mean, I mean, they probably could have cut out a couple of those
easily. Like, there's,
I think
after
9 would have been
plus
good.
fights, like, you could have toned it down a bit, but I mean, for the time, yeah, I suppose that is the aspect of being a movie for its time, a kung fu movie of its time. Like, that was its main focus. I understand that. The story was a little weak in a sense, but at the same time, the fights filled it out. You know,
it was really. You could see that this movie inspired a lot of other movies and tropes that followed it. Like, I guess maybe not inspired, but there's a lot of tropes in this movie that
100%.
It's hard to place if this was the originator or if this is one that helped perpetuate that trope or what the deal is. But
if you've seen that parody movie Kung Pao, it draws a lot from that. Granted, I know Kung Pao is playing on a different movie, but I notice it takes a lot from that, or at least that genre of old school kung fu movies, for sure.
And the comedy in this almost makes it seem like itself might be a parody of like a Bruce Lee movie or something like that.
Right.
And sometimes it's just the dialogue, and I want to know how much of what is in the version we watched was actually in the script. Or how much is them just like changing the words around, because it almost sounds like they're doing the MXC commentating on some of the conversations they have.
Your comment. If I've been blowing the wrong way this whole time, Jackie Chan takes his tuft of hair, instead of blowing on, he was this whole time. Like, why?
Or when they're talking about his cousin, who he does not yet know is his cousin, and he's like, one guy goes, "I'm gonna get her to kiss me." He's like, "Is that all? I'm gonna get a hug."
Ooh, look out. Fucking X-rated up in here.
But then later on, like, they start going the opposite direction. Like, where that was super wholesome and family friendly, they're like cursing at each other with really weird combinations.
Shit face. Jesus, man.
You dumbhead.
Piss.
One of the things for sure they changed, which I'm kind of was a mind blower, is the names. They have 100%. Very Americanized names. Jackie Chan is Freddy instead of, what did you say it was?
Wong. Oh shit! Let me go back.
Not to be confused with VGHS Freddie Wong.
With Wang Fei-hung,
which is probably exactly how you say it.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. No.
Daddy was named like Robert.
His frustrated father has him discipled by a beggar. So Hyung Si Chien, a master of drunken martial arts, also just known as So High.
Which I think is an accidental, hilarious joke of him. He's not high, he's drunk. Oh my god.
I would fucking give so much to find out, like, just to get some behind the scenes footage of watching them in the room doing the ADR for this film. All of the scenes where there's the fucking ha, he, ha. I just want to watch them watching that, and then just watching them go yeah, ha, ha, and just the noises you just put together with the scene going on. It's ridiculous.
I always like the, and they do it in anime too, the reactionary sound. So they're not making a movement, but their face goes, huh?
Oh my god, awkward. It's so crazy. It's cringy. The ADR just does not fit with the reactions that they're expressing in that moment in time. It's just stupid.
Oh, but it's this. My second note in here was, this movie is magic.
Yes, very much so.
It was easy to tell after like 2 minutes in that this was going to be fantastic. Oh my god.
Was. Again, I praise it. Watch it. It's so good. Mm-hmm. By the way, I'm looking at our audio levels over here, and they're spiking the fuck
That's
out.
Fine. That's whatever. It's okay. The only thing I would worry is that if you watch this movie, you might turn into a sex maniac.
I have actually a note in there. The boys around here are real sex maniacs.
That scene, actually, I really like that scene. Like when he's like hiding his face away so that they can't see him. Because previously he had
craned my neck some way. Oh no.
The girl, his cousin that he was getting the hug from, her mama was there, and she's a badass, and she beat the shit out of him. She
can kick like none other.
Oh my god, yeah. And so they come back, and he's trying to like keep his face hidden away because his uncle's trying to introduce him, or his father. And he's like, I've hurt my neck. She's like, let me fix that. And then she immediately starts talking shit on all the local boys while he's sitting right there, and he's like looking away, and he's like, oh god, shit.
Oh my god.
And then his dad like is gonna kill him, which was crazy.
I know.
First he disowned him.
Disowned him because he just disrespected a family member. Like,
and he beat the shit out of that other
man,
guy.
Like, slap his wrist or something, but no, we're gonna disown you.
And then murder. I know. I thought feudal Japan was rough.
Little as you know, those local families are disowning children for straight up flirting with family members.
I'm gonna start getting all my kung fu and samurai movies confused between 13 Assassins and 18 Drunk Masters. There's too many numbers. Too many numbers. It's too many, Tom.
Oh my god.
Oh
my god. Anyway, I gotta say, this movie is completely filled with the cleverness that is Jackie Chan and all the humor. I'm assuming some of you have obviously seen his movies. Rush Hour, how could you fucking miss Rush Hour? A lot of people have seen those movies, but you just have all that extra comedy in there that's not necessary, but it's put in such a clever way that it's not the focus. It's just the extras in the background.
Some extra sizzle.
For when he was doing the 5-hour like horse squats or whatever, horse stance, like he kicks in that chair, like that's brilliant. Like it's very Jackie Chan.
And he's always trying to find the easy way out, which somehow makes it worse. Like when he's doing the sit-ups.
Yep, and he uses the tiny cups. And yep.
There actually was kind of a weird theme that I noticed towards the end, is that he's constantly avoiding his troubles by taking shortcuts, which ends up making the situation worse, which is kind of something that is associated with alcoholism. Like you're trying to avoid your problems by drinking, but it makes it worse.
Yep.
But his answer is alcohol. It was very confusing.
It's a little on the I don't know if that works spectrum.
They also did touch Sohai's alcoholism. Like when he doesn't get it, he starts getting the shakes on it. He's not strong.
There was a bit of seriousness that came about, at least to me anyway, where the realism of the film kind of showed its ugly face, where it's like alcoholism's serious, like this man's no longer on his booze and he starts shaking and he's not as effective. And that's where, for like a very brief moment, it takes a turn for seriousness, like, oh shit, like this man's not going to be as effective. Like, obviously alcoholism has crippled him to the point where he can't function without booze. And so it takes that really serious tone in the whole scheme of comedy that's going on around you, but it lightens it back up pretty quick. But at the same time, it's that one moment that's like, oh shit.
Kind of made me feel bad for Jackie Chan though.
Exactly. Cause
like
now,
by the end, you can see that he's chugging it to get the power.
And it's like you said, like, did this Drunken Master teach him about alcoholism and alcohol poisoning? Like, that's a serious issue, you know? You can't function on this shit. I mean, you kind of can, but let's be real.
I'm a high-functioning alcoholic, but it slowly deteriorates you like it did Sohai.
Right. Oof. Yeah, no, that's like I said, when the film took a serious note. Other than that, the whole film itself is very lighthearted, very well put together. On the heavy note of fighting kung fu movies, like there's a lot of that. It could have done a little bit more story work, but I understand for a movie for its time, it was a kung fu movie.
Or they could have just cut out, like we said, a couple of those fights and turned that run hour down from like 80 minutes to maybe like 65.
Yeah.
Although then it'd been really short, but I don't know. It seemed like they were.
I felt like it ended a little too quickly too.
Yeah.
But
there was no real. There was a climax, but there was no resolution after that. It was just, it ended with the fight, which was kind of strange.
There's one thing I did note about this movie is it feels like a very Dragon Ball Z movie. Yeah. Very Dragon Ball Z.
So high as Master Roshi.
Exactly. You've got the teaching of the young person and basically their acceleration from being a lazy bum to trying to take shortcuts to.
Both love food.
Let's get oh my god, the food scene, that is the most like close to actual anime scenes I've ever seen of eating, because you know in anime is like they're just eating the shit out of food. This is the closest scene I've ever seen that is like as replicant in real life as to a cartoon fucking eating food. Like Jackie Chan puts it fucking down.
Yeah. For only $1.50.
Yeah. All that food for $1.50.
Like 7 full meals.
Which brings it back to that scene where the man wants to pay $10 for his jade thing, which seems too cheap, but at the time, I suppose that $10 was probably equivalent to like several $100s. Yeah.
It's like a big size jade medallion.
And he wants $10, which nowadays seems like fucking pocket change, but
homeboy gives him 10 cents for it.
Yeah.
And then gets mad that he gets beat up.
Right?
Jesus.
I want you to make him look like me.
That's one thing that you really think they would have actually had the resolution on after the fight, was him and his dad kind of coming back to terms after he comes back to save his dad.
Being back as a family, but they don't even end on that. It just ends on, I beat the bad guy, roll credits.
Freeze frame.
Yeah.
Like this, I don't know, it seemed partway through, especially when they came back and they were talking about the man who bought the jade medallion. His father was wanting to buy the hills or whatever because there was a mine in there.
There's a cemetery, but there's a huge chunk of coal.
Yeah, there's a deposit.
Don't be coy. We know you want this land because of the coal. It's like, what? No, but really, yeah.
Once they got to that scene, I was like, the story is fucking all over the place in this movie. It just it seems like it's kind of meandering. But then the next scene, Thunderleg gets the little note in his box to assassinate him.
Flips the cup and gets his little contract. Yep.
And I was like, oh, came right back around. Now we get it. So they've already set up Jackie and him. They've already had a fight. You've already seen the tensions between the two older gentlemen, Jackie's dad and the other guy, and now it's all going to culminate So for a second, I thought they'd lost it, but then it turned out they were in control the whole time.
Honestly, I was kind of surprised they never brought back the cousin and the aunt or whoever.
Yeah, I expected her to show up.
It was a very pertinent scene in the beginning, and then kind of towards that middle part where they were being like, "Oh, you fought your cousin or whatever, and you kissed your cousin." But after that, it had no relevance whatsoever. It kind of just dropped it off the map.
Yeah, you think she would have maybe come back and been the one?
And maybe even explain why she was there in the first place. Like, why was she visiting?
They never do. Because he doesn't want to practice the female version of Drunken Master, Drunken Mastery.
Silly.
You think she might have been like the one that shows up and been like, women are strong too.
And that's the one thing that I thought maybe he would have started doing in that Drunken Mastery state is he would have at least fought kind of like her where she had a lot of focus on the feet, a lot of kicking styles. If you watch that portion, when she does her kicks, it's very solid and like snap to the movement, which by the way, I gotta say the ADR on those movements, it's unnecessary. It's there, but it's just unnecessary. And every time they hit, it's like a clap noise.
Just like
just
Power Rangers.
Ridiculous.
Just every motion has to have a wind whoosh.
Like it can't just be what it is. Anyway, past that though, like her foot movements are just so snappy, and I was expecting that when he started doing the female side of things, because I thought that's what he was gonna mock, because he got his ass kicked by her.
Yeah.
And so I didn't know if it was gonna be like a callback to being her fighting style on top of the drunken fighting style. A little disappointed in that aspect, but it's still a really good film.
They make a big deal about that in Kung Fu movies too, like my style.
Yes,
And he's like, use my style. It's like, I don't think you could just use somebody's style.
Right,
Like,
his father's was disrespected, like whoever taught you kung fu is shit, and he's just like, no one tells me that, and he gets his ass kicked, and then he learns the drunken style and completely smashes it until that one bit where then the Drunken Master, like you said, says use my style, and that's when he starts to peak. So needless to say,
he also goes stone cold on a big old thing of wine and gets super drunk.
He does. I can't believe he tried to water down the wine and think it would pass.
Yeah,
Come
that was such a like.
Was he trying to be cheap?
We took the money that he was given for the wine and
I guess
spent
he
it
did
on the
buy
food.
That's right.
And so he gave him the money for the wine. They brought him back that really empty container.
What is with food and fighting? Like the whole maybe it's just me. Obviously, I'm not a fighter. That being said, like I've noticed in a lot of fighting movies, the montages of consuming shitloads of food. Like, what is it with the Japanese anime films and or just the actual films where they just consume shitloads of food and then fight right afterwards? I'd throw the fuck up.
Yeah. I mean, I assume it stems from the idea that if you're going to be that jacked, that swole, you have to have a decent amount of calorie intake to get the energy to do that.
Those kinds of foods are like super salty.
Yeah, and I shouldn't say no one, but I would assume no one, like you said, immediately fights after that. Like after I ate lunch, I'm just like, I need
Have you
a nap.
tried running a mile on a stomach full of rice? Fuck that.
No, mostly because I don't eat rice.
Noodles, okay?
Oh,
Spaghetti noodles, same kind
Actually,
of concept, different kind of starch.
That's what a lot of long distance runners do because it's high in carbohydrates.
Have you seen The Office?
Actually, I have.
Where he eats the whole fucking thing of Alfredo and then throws it up immediately.
Yeah, see, that's not how you're supposed to do.
He's carb loading. I fucking love The Office. Anyway. Yes, this film, I gotta say it. Obviously, I was very surprised. I was taken back by it. I wasn't expecting it to be as good as it was. But it very much was. I highly recommend it.
If you're gonna find it, you're probably gonna have to pay for it. I was unable to find it anywhere with a good quality, even on like free streaming stuff like Netflix and all that, which was kind of a bummer. But it was $2.99 well spent.
Very much so. Like I said, I would obviously buy it. They have a lot of good one-liners in this movie, I gotta say. Like, not trying to project the part where they be swearing at each other very hardcore, but like a big mouth and a wet ass should be taught some manners. And then they do the ridiculous zoom on his wet pants over the fire.
On the fire, and every time.
3 times. Like, why? We get it. The first time, yeah, his pants are burning.
It was
Great.
magic. It was magical.
Don't show me 2 more times. That's unnecessary.
There were a lot of zooms in this movie, actually.
Was. Every time he got on someone's face, it's like, hey. Ooh.
Hey, how's it going? Glad to see you in my living room.
Fucking Beetlejuice. Hey, how's it going?
So for how entertaining this movie was, I actually didn't take a whole lot of notes because I was just like, I couldn't look away.
I had to make a mental note to take notes while watching this because it was that good. I don't say that for very many films, but yeah.
I know this might have been the hardest one to take notes on.
It didn't even have subtitles. Like, you could pay attention to the film. You didn't have to worry about subtitles.
I do kind of wish it would have had subtitles, honestly, because the voice of whoever did Jackie Chan's ADR, or the voiceover.
By the way, for any of those who don't know, ADR is audio...
Automated dialogue replacement.
Yes, so just so you know.
So when someone overdubs something, they talk over it. Whoever does his voice sounds like a real fucking dickhead. Like, he's constantly whining, and he's like vaguely British, which I believe this was translated through like Britain or England before it came to America.
You did say he started peeking on an Italian accent somewhere.
That was weird, yeah. I thought you said, but fuck, that's the second voice I did. Dang it. Like there's certain like phrasing that they use that like Americans just that's not it's not part of our vernacular.
And it's like I said, their reactions on the ADR did not match the reactions that were happening on film. If they did, they were over exemplifying them tenfold. Like it was unnecessary, but to be expected. That is what a lot of parodies camp on.
And it might be the perfect kung fu movie. Because I think it works.
I haven't seen enough to tell you whether or not that's true.
It works as an actual like kung fu movie. Like if you like kung fu movies and you like the choreography of the fight and stuff, it works in that sense. But it also works as a perfect parody of a kung fu movie.
100%.
So if you're trying to get drunk and watch it to be funny, it works perfectly that way too.
It's true. It's really good. Even if I was 100% sober, I would still really thoroughly enjoy this film. Like, I'm kind of picky when it comes to kung fu movies because I've seen Kung Pao. I get it. It's campy. I get the jokes. I understand where you're pulling it from. But legitimately, as a Jackie Chan film, he has a lot of that wholesome humor in there on top of something that's very practical and also something that's very relatable to what's going on right there and then. Relatable.
I was actually going to have us watch like a top 10 Jackie Chan fight scenes or something to talk about that, but I totally forgot about it. I don't know why I forgot about it. It could be something just in the water or something. But we can still pretend like we know what we're talking about. Yeah. So what is let's just go favorite Jackie Chan movie or maybe fight scene, doesn't matter.
I can't really say fight scenes because honestly, a lot of the Jackie Chan movies that I can think of off the top of my head, like quick like that, is just Rush Hour films. And even then, I've seen those fucking years ago, so I couldn't pull anything accurate. I've watched a lot of the Jackie Chan Adventures, that fucking animated cartoon. I don't know if you've seen that, but you probably totally should. It's pretty good. Being as we recently watched The Foreigner with Jackie Chan in it didn't have a lot of fight scenes in it, so I can't basically pull from that and say, hey, it's really good. But I just from experience and seeing past films that he may have been in that I can't think of off the top of my head, I do know he's very he is his own stuntman. He does his own stunts, which to me is extraordinarily impressive. Granted, yeah, they may be choreographed. He does them so very fluidly and very well done. I'm assuming up until this point he does them very realistically. Whereas this film, there's a lot of non-contact and it's almost blatantly obvious, which may attribute to it being comedy, but the fight scenes themselves are really good. So I'll just say Rush Hour just because it's the only thing I can think of off the top of my head right now.
And you can tell in these fight scenes how like athletic he legitimately is.
I almost want to say it was like a compilation of how ripped he was at the time.
Yeah, like he was
young Jackie Chan was fucking fit.
Little Bruce Lee over here, you know what I'm saying? Like,
oh my god.
Let's do squats popping out. Yeah, I was just doing the flips off his head and shit.
Oh, that was insane.
So there's someone I work with that showed me a fight scene from I think it was First Strike, which has Jackie Chan in it.
I don't think I've seen that one.
It's amazing. It's like every single thing in that fight scene is like laid out beforehand before you see it, which is a big thing. Like he was sitting there walking me through it, and I was like, damn, Grant, dropping knowledge on me and stuff. But like you see like ladders, you see different chairs and accoutrements.
So all the basically pre-plans before he starts.
So you see every
engaging in
single prop, where it's at, the layout of the room, all the people before the fight happens. So it's a really hectic fight, and he's fighting multiple people and using all these different props and moving all over the place, but nothing comes out of nowhere. You see it there. They show like they've got like they've got the big like dragon head that eventually comes into it. There's a part where they go up these stairs and there's a ladder, and the ladder itself has like a beam of light over it, which it looks natural. It looks like it's just part of the lighting, but it also is like, hey, this is coming next.
Right.
It was like, once he broke it down for me, I was like, shit, that's actually pretty mind-boggling, the amount of thought that they put into it. And then just on top of that, they had the physical ability to pull it off and not too terribly hurt each other. Like Jackie, obviously, post-credit rolls, we see what actually happens to him, but
I guess it makes you wonder if they start from the end and then go to the beginning, like, hey, we want to add this, and then from there, let's go to here, and then from there, we'll go over to here, and then basically to where they start, and then they kind of do that in reverse order just to kind of see where it goes too. I don't know the whole science behind choreography, but I can imagine maybe that's how it works, just because I feel like when you start from the beginning to go to the end, it seems a bit too drawn out. But if you have, this is where we want to finish.
that's where you have to end up.
This is where we want to start.
Yeah.
Like, then let's figure out this in between from the end to the beginning. I could be wrong.
It makes sense.
Not quite the cinematographer yet, but
I'm tracking with you. That makes sense. And that's another big thing too, is like, he, like, choreography wise, Jack, from what I understand, just like interviews and watching all the special features and stuff, he pretty much does it himself. Him, and he's got like a team of people that he's been working with.
He's got the athletic ability to do it. Why not?
Well, not even the stunts, but like the planning it out. Like that's all him, which is insane that he's got that much creativity to do that over as many movies as he's done.
Oh God!
Even if he doesn't do every single movie, if he's doing a good majority or a decent chunk of those, that's insane.
I wonder if he draws inspiration from past films to his recent ones. You know, because I mean, you got to have some sort of inspiration. So if you have like past ones, like, hey, I've done this, let's try and incorporate it into this next one.
Sorry.
No. Jesus Christ.
So got another gold one from Nugent, my manager. He said this is the only famous person I resemble. No, I guess
Fucking Gordon Freeman.
I guess I got to start calling him Gordon.
You should bring a crowbar to work tomorrow and give it to him and see if he gets it. If he doesn't, he's not allowed to be Gordon Freeman. 100%.
Why? The big question is, why do we have that in our store? That game is so old. Oh my god.
Half-Life 3 is confirmed.
Confirmed. We just breaking news. Thank you, Nuge. I don't know if I have anything else I can possibly say about this movie. Do you?
I've just got random fucking notes about the whole entire thing, where I was talking about how the film was showing off how Chan's fucking ripped. Let's be real, this man. Ooh. I like how the assassin's name is Thunderleg. Out of all the names you could have picked for an assassin, Thunderleg.
Well, it's because he's got the flying dropkick move.
Yeah, but you don't hear a crack of thunder. While they're doing the fucking wrist shit, you hear snake bites. I shit you not. There's
true.
like... And like, let's be... yeah. Should have added in that. That's all I'm saying.
Would have been good. I agree.
You can bury your man, shitface. Boy, the insults are flying. Yes,
They got real cursy on that last fight.
They really did. Towards the end of the film, they were just throwing the swear words out. Like, let's give this movie a more adult rating.
I think that fight with Thunderfoot was the only one that had music too.
Okay, that typical fucking scene where you throw up a thumbs up and you're just like, okay, that I loved that.
Now let's continue fighting. Now that I respect you. That was Thunderfoot giving Jackie the thumbs up.
Okay. Oh my god. And like my last line on here is like, I have to say, for as ridiculous as this movie might be, Jackie is fucking talented. Even at a young age, this man has done so many great things. And with his previous movies, like, I'm not sucking the dick of Jackie Chan here right now, but for real though, This man's stunts are amazing. This man's acting ability is great. The fact that he can add comedy into something that may have a serious tone to it is amazing. And it doesn't seem too campy. It doesn't seem too over the top. It blends really well with the films that he's in.
It's a classic.
Maybe I haven't seen enough Jackie Chan films to judge whether or not he has had some bad ones in there. Maybe.
Yeah, Rush Hour 3.
Possibly. I mean,
The Tuxedo.
I don't want to say maybe Chris Rock might be the effective of that one, but like,
Pretty much anything after Rush Hour 1.
had you given just Jackie Chan the reins and not Chris Rock, it might have been a good film in its own right. That being said, it was a decent film, but I mean, anything that he's in, being as he's the main stuntman, I don't know if he did any directing or writing or anything for those films, but had he had his own little input in there, I'm just assuming it would have been great. I'm not sucking the dick of Jackie Chan, I'm just saying.
But would you though?
No! I'm sorry.
Because it's wrinkly?
Not even.
So how tight's your hat on right now? Because I'm about to blow your mind.
Let's go, what?
It's very possible, depending on what month that movie was released in, that it's the 40th anniversary.
Of this movie we watched?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
So it came out in 78. So
Yeah.
88 would be 10 years. 98 would be 20 years. 2008 would be 30 years. 2018.
Let us celebrate the Drunken Master, good sirs.
Yeah.
And ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen and
Yeah.
boys and girls and all who may watch this.
Wait, what? Boys
12
and girls?
people of this channel.
First of all, our content is not appropriate for boys
It
and
is
girls.
not. Do not let your children watch this.
And also drink alcohol or something.
Because alcohol's for 21 and above. Well, in the United States. If you are in the UK, welcome. It is the United States law to drink after 21.
think they know.
You probably know that. I'm fucking retarded. I'm inebriated. Shut up.
Oh my god.
Let us move on to the 4 final things we typically talk about.
So, what was your what the fuck moment?
Honestly, I never really gave it a thought. I didn't write these down, unlike last time. I was very pre-planned. This time around, my what the fuck moment, I'm going to have to say, is how almost shot for a little bit there, it felt like I was watching Kung Pao. The whole scene in Kung Pao where he talks about nuts. They're walking through the market and there's a guy shouting about chicken or something for sale for food. And then when the girl comes in, I think his cousin or whatever, it's almost the exact same scene as the other movie I watched, Kung Pao. If you haven't seen that, it's okay. It's good if you're immature and you love fucking campy films. But anything other than that, like it's all right. But that was kind of more my what the fuck moment, because I was exactly thinking like, oh shit, they're pulling shot for shot moments from this film. Granted, it was from another film, but I'm just saying that was my what the fuck moment.
I initially was gonna do the food eating scene, but I had to change it about halfway through the movie when he's trying to sneak out while he's sleeping in the same room as Sohai, and he gets to the door and his toe is in the
line,
and he's like pulling it back in. And he's got this real creepy face going on. That was like, what the fuck? Oh my
100%.
god! What was your favorite scene?
Oh god, my favorite scene had to be, it's always in a lot of films, any montages they have, the training montage of where he's learning all the Drunken Masters, I really enjoyed that, because first he's clicking off what it is to be the Drunken Master. You have to learn all these kind of disciplines, and he's picking them all up except for the last one, which obviously bites his ass later on. But I do enjoy montages. They're very well put together when they're, I guess, done right. So if you do it right and you put it in the right spot, it's a very good, memorable scene for a film, I think.
And I like too that they, as they're describing the different, I think they were referring to them as gods, of the different moves and the disciplines. Like you could see him doing that same thing, so they're like
carrying the jug.
It made sense of the different motions that he's making, which I never knew before. It makes sense, and a lot of those moves, drunken boxing is easily one of my favorite. I know it's a very ineffective form of fighting, but it's just so entertaining to watch, and the idea behind it is 100%. Really cool. You can see that, like, the influence directly into a lot of fighting games, especially DOA. There's a Drunken Boxer that does the exact moves that are in this movie. It's like, I did that combo. I did that combo.
Giant, like, gourd-looking bottle thing too.
That's Mortal Kombat.
Oh, okay.
And I'm sure he does similar moves too.
I haven't seen the DOA one.
My favorite scene was towards the beginning when he's fighting the guy with that stole the jade medallion. Well, technically he didn't steal it, but he bought it.
Right.
And he takes the sword from him and he puts him on a table and he starts doing like a massage with the sword, but
chop.
it's such a weird angle and he's doing it so fast and making the sound effect with it. It was amazing. And that'll be forever how I choose to remember Jackie Chan.
Help, I'm dying. Don't worry, it is the blunt edge.
Oh, my wrists. No.
They gotta really focus on wrists in this movie, I noticed.
Wrist and finger strength.
Yep. Breaking nuts.
Went for the
He
crushed
didn't
throat.
even do... A part of me thought at one point when he poked that man in like the ribs or whatever and made him bleed, I thought for a second he was going to have a moment of, oh shit, I'm super dangerous, I should tone it down, because like he totally like broke this dude's ribs or some shit and like caused bleeding, and I was just like, oh, well, no, he just didn't give a fuck.
That's the idea. Trying to be a fighter.
I guess.
Oh,
What's next?
I think that's it, right? Oh, MVP.
MVP.
Yeah. I think it's unanimous. It's Jackie Chan.
100%, without a doubt.
The only other person I could even consider is his father's like
The Drunken
top
Master
disciple.
himself, I would have thought maybe.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
Okay.
I like
Can
mole
we talk
hair.
about how that one fucking dude in the restaurant with
with the
fucked
fake
up
teeth? Yeah.
Why?
I didn't like that.
Like, I feel like they were trying to pull from the hardcore racist stereotype of what a Japanese or Chinese man was like. Like,
Right.
stop it. Like,
Which is weird because
why?
it was a Chinese movie itself too.
Exactly. Like, why are you doing this? Are you playing into the American film trope of what it is to be a Chinese man? Like, why?
The worst part about it was the person that did the overdubbing for his dialogue also shoved something in his mouth, so you can't understand a fucking word they're saying. So he's really hard talking. Like
I'm gonna
this,
change
too.
that to my what the fuck
Oh
moment,
my
because
God.
honestly, that was just unnecessary. It was like, I get it. Maybe he was just the not so smart restaurant server guy, but it wasn't necessary.
It wasn't.
No. But anyway, back to our MVP. Yes, I'm gonna pick the Drunken Master. Jackie Chan was great. I'm gonna pick the Drunken Master. A, the man was wearing a fitting wig for what he was. B, he was a really good trainer for who he was. And C, the man was just over the top in what he was. He wasn't too... excuse me. I said he was over the top. He wasn't too over the top. He had his ways of how he did his fighting, and it was practical in some sense. The man had his flaws. Obviously, if he didn't drink enough, he got shaky.
Yep.
He had his... basically what he was good at doing, and that was being a teacher. And so at a portion of that film, he taught Jackie all he could teach, and then he moved along. Like, that is his life. That is what he does. He sticks to his virtues. And so that, I respect the man for doing what he did. Granted, yeah, he stuck around for that last fight, but that's all he is. He is the teacher. He's not going to stick around for be a family man. He has his own life. He has his own doings. So,
And it was weird that he came back that quickly because he says in the note, if you ever need me, I'll be there.
Exactly.
And then like immediately he's like, I need you.
walking in a fucking field, and he's like, oh, hey, I'm back. Like, he must have just been walking around the block of the house, honestly.
I mean, Jackie Chan is my choice. It was not even close. The guy, his dad's second in command with the weird one piece of facial hair.
Oh my god, the mole with the hair.
He was almost
Jesus.
in contention, but it's just like the amount of physical comedy and timing and choreography and everything that Jackie Chan did. Like, if he was the only true choice for MVP.
He did very well, I will admit.
Yeah, I will say though that So High, for being as old as they at least made him look in that movie, he still had some. He was able to keep up in those fights.
Even the old woman in the beginning, I don't know if they had a stunt double or not, but if they didn't, like, she was still pretty fit for doing what she was doing. Fucking kicking that leg up past her fucking forehead and like moving it around in such a fashion that was almost mechanical. It was impressive.
Whew. So that was Legend of the Drunken Master.
Very much so.
Yeah.
I enjoyed this one. And that was our 1 year anniversary.
Yeah.
We have come quite a ways from...
Let's do some reflecting on our previous year. That is the 24th movie that we have watched. Out of everything we've watched, including the
Blood
one
Rain.
off we did. So that's your choice for your favorite movie that we
No,
watched. That's
my
nice
choice
to know.
for the
You heard it
worst
here
fucking
first,
movie
folks.
we've watched was Blood Rain.
Yeah.
Christ, I thought there would have been worse ones we watched, but that one was
That's 100%.
terrible.
100% the worst. What's your favorite that we've watched so far?
So far, I'm gonna be honest with you. This one was the greatest. It's the one that surprised me the most. Like I said, in our whole ideal of how we're gonna be watching movies, at least my thought going into this whole podcast was we were gonna watch movies we have never seen before. We're gonna open ourselves up to something new and experience something new. Where I guess this movie may have been that for you because you said you watched the second one.
Yep.
To me, this one surprised me. It took me by surprise. I was anticipating an old campy, kung fu film. There's going to be a lot of fight scenes, etc. But no, not only did it have a lot of fight scenes, but it was actually very well put together in the sense of there was a lot of comedy to it. It took me by surprise, whereas a lot of the other films, I could kind of predict what was going to happen towards the end. Whereas this one, I wasn't predicting what was happening towards the end. It was more me predicting that how it was going to play out, I suppose, is what I'm getting at. It was just well put together. I just wasn't expecting it to be that way for as old as it was. Granted, that's probably me shortcoming 70s films, but granted, we've watched a lot of old films. We've watched a lot of new films, and a lot of these ones that we've watched I've seen before, whereas this one I've never seen before. Out of the ones I haven't seen before, I did thoroughly enjoy this one.
I'm actually looking through everything we've done so far. So we did Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 3, Fifth Element, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, The Thing, The Shining, Blood Rain, Stranger Things 2, DOA, Home Alone, Jingle All the Way, 13 Assassins, Shaolin Soccer, The World's End, The Big Lebowski, Thor Ragnarok, Avengers Age of Ultron, How High, Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny, Star Wars Episode 5, Empire Strikes Back, and Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones.
A lot of these are
and The Foreigner.
Expected to be good and bad, but this one is the only one that I believe has taken me by surprise, honestly.
I like looking through it. It's a tough pick because I've got my sentimental favorites like The Shining and like some of the Spider-Man movies, but I think my favorite episode was Stranger Things 2. One, because it was something new. Like obviously we were just watching it as it happened.
Right.
Went in without knowing anything, and it was continuing a show that we were looking forward to. But I also liked that it was our one break from format. And it, like, just from an editing standpoint, was an interesting challenge, which was pretty cool.
Check it out if you haven't. I would highly recommend first watching, of course, Stranger Things Season 2, and then checking out our little in-depth look. It was an interesting, undertaking to basically watch a show from start to beginning, and then kind of break down each episode and then talk about it.
And try and keep it not 5 hours long.
Exactly.
And cover every episode.
How long was it?
It was 1 hour and 40 minutes.
So basically about the extent of a movie. If you want to watch a movie, just watch us talking about Stranger Things 2. It's good.
We'll probably be doing one for Game of Thrones and Stranger Things 3.
100%. Yeah. Are we going to do it like every Sunday? I feel like we should do that.
Maybe.
What do you guys think? We do a video every 1st and 15th. If you haven't been following along, would you prefer us to do more videos? Granted, that's going to be a bigger undertaking, but hey, if that's what you would prefer, let us know.
Yeah.
We've got about 12 of you out there who like to watch our shit. Let us know.
I feel like if we watch it if we do one week to week, then there's going to be a lot more of us speculating versus if we do it after it's all said and done, then we can do more of an analysis.
Yeah.
That we kind of, I guess, I don't know if you can call it we do an analysis.
If we speculate, we'll try and guess what's going to happen, and if it happens, hey, that's neat, that's cool, but,
Oh, boy. So we've got the best and the worst. Is there any that you'd like to go back, not and redo, but maybe some, like a lot of what we do are part of series or have similar or related movies to them. Is there any that you'd like to maybe revisit that way?
I hate to admit it, I really do, but I would like to check out The Fifth Element again just to kind of watch it from a perspective of cinematography aspect. I will admit there's a strong bias for this film for me because I really do enjoy it, but from a cinematography standpoint of view, it may not be the greatest film. I've watched a few videos about it and it's very French, and that's what they kind of admit on there. Like, why is Lilu in a fucking bubble that's made of foil? because of France.
What?
I shit you not.
Okay.
Movies with Mikey, I'm calling you out on this one. You did a really good analysis on it. You kind of shorted the Fifth Element aspect of it, and that's okay. You kind of compared it to the Die Hard, yes. I wish you would have went more in depth with that. But that being said, I would have. I want to hear more about what you have to say about it. But myself, like, yes, it is very French. The circular aspects, creating power, like. I want to try and break it down from a very technical aspect of what makes a movie what it is. Circles being empowering, whereas just like if it's a foreign film, you're going to have different feelings about it because you have your American films versus your foreign films. There's a lot of different aspects to what's more important, what isn't. I guess if that makes any sense, I don't know. But I want to take a revisit to that and look at it more from a cinematography standpoint of view instead of this is what it is, hey, this is a love story going on. I want to look at it more of, hey, this is how it's shot and this is the color scheme and all that shit. Yeah, I know. You fucking hate it, whatever. But
love story.
If you really think about it, The Fifth Element is like a fucking Def Leppard song. Yeah. Prove me wrong. Right here.
Photograph. I don't need you.
Tell me you can't watch that movie wearing fucking blue jeans with holes in them and the short sleeve fucking cut off t-shirt.
Okay. I can't argue that.
What about you? What would you want to revisit? I think the thing would have been a good movie to revisit because it was very early in our career as broadcasters.
Podcasters. I think I'd like to finish this Spider-Man. So we've done 1, 2, and 3.
Doing a video format versus an audio.
Yeah, and maybe not revisit the initial 3 you've watched, but maybe continue on to either the Amazing Spider-Man, those 2 movies, or more preferably. I would much rather do Homecoming because it's a good movie, but I think it'd be kind of be interesting to compare and contrast the different sections of Spider-Man's history as to some of them might have done this better, but this one might
instead
have
of having origin stories, you'd have actual stories.
Right.
Okay.
And is there anything in year 2 that you'd like to aim for?
In my 2?
In year 2.
Oh, in year 2.
We're officially in year 2, season 2.
Anything that I would what?
Just any goals, any aspirations, anything that you'd like to challenge themselves or us to, or anything.
I would like to challenge myself to take better fucking notes. I essentially take notes as I watch the movies, thoughts that I have during watching that film, and I try. And I rely on you to bring something up to where then relates to my note that I took of that scene that was happening then and there. I need to learn to take better notes. I would like to take more aspect notes as far as what pertains to what's going on. That didn't make any fucking sense. I would like to take notes that pertain to the cinematography of the film itself, how it is shot, the technical aspects of it that makes it good or terrible. Granted, yeah, shots kind of matter, your score and your color scheme. If films do that well, you take notice. You don't notice right away. It's a subconscious thing, but like if it's done really well, like I've heard a lot for editors. Editors, they do great work if you don't notice it. If you don't notice it, they did their job. Whereas if you notice it, they obviously didn't do their shit right. You yourself as an editor for our videos, give this man a round of fucking applause. Does a really good job putting our shit together. Early on when we were cutting and splicing scenes into the films, we get it. It was great, but for the YouTube concept of things, we don't need to do that. Right. So we are pulling. I myself am trying to research how to pull it into an audio format for you folks that can't have unlimited data. I don't blame you. I apologize. We're looking into that. It might be a cost thing, so we'll see how we go from there. But I want to take better notes. I want to be able to analyze a film better.
Analyze it.
Analyze this film better.
Just get right in the butt. We had our first actual constructive criticism, and I'm going to attempt to do that for the rest of the year. Do you remember the name of the nice person who said that?
Oh, I can pull it up while you start talking.
Yeah. So the gist of it was thumbnails was a big thing. It was a gentleman.
Yes, his name was Abram SF.
Abram SF. Hopefully San Francisco. Big fan. They, the Giants and the Giants.
Do you want me to read the whole comment?
No, it's a pretty long one, which I do appreciate.
Yes.
But he mentioned that our thumbnails make it seem like we're gonna do the reaction video, which is super popular right now.
Reactions.
Where two people just stare at this thing and go, "Oh wow, oh man, wow," and there are some people that do it well and some people that don't.
You have your niche. That's not us.
Yeah, it's no, not even close. So we'll try and address that. If anyone else has anything that they'd like to constructively point out to us and things that they think might make it better or hopefully not worse.
Yeah, no. Let's not go backwards.
Yeah. Just like this gentleman, let us know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Also, shouts to
Sierra Caldwell. Her dad and her shop made this fucking sign, this steel sign. It's dope as fuck.
Yeah.
We put their link in the description a while ago. They have this thing called Southern Sun Metals or some shit like that. Just check a couple of videos back when you start seeing it.
Yep.
They do really good work.
I've been putting it in the new ones too.
Okay, cool. She, her and her dad over in Alabama, I believe it is. They make like, so it's kind of garden-y stuff. So if you have a garden, hey, that's cool. They make like little animals and like insects and stuff out of brass. They're a little bit more expensive because brass is expensive to be expected, but it's quality work. Like,
I was looking through their website. They have a lot of cool stuff.
They told me they had done several renditions of this just to get it right. And I greatly appreciate the quality and just the expertise that was put into it, and I greatly appreciate that. And if you're watching, if you're listening, thank you very much. Like, it was very, very well appreciated. I just want to give you another shout out that you do good work. So check them out if you want some sort of custom signs made. They've got steel stuff that they cut out and then they'll paint it for you. They've got glow in the dark paint. They've got like glitter paint. Like, you got a sign, they'll make it. You got a little idea, they'll make it. Like, get started on it, or like check them out.
Yeah.
Make your shit look pretty.
Yeah. I think that was the last thing I was going to touch on.
Yeah, no, that's about all that I have, honestly.
Cool.
This was a fun one.
Yeah.
I enjoyed getting far more inebriated than I am planned, but I apologize for those who are listening with earbuds. This is gonna hurt.
Hey, but guess what? It's really cool because when I mix it, it won't.
Editor.
That's it's movie magic. I tell you what. So that wraps up year one of Dudes Watch a Movie podcast.
Did you think we were gonna make it this far?
No. No. Not even close. I thought
Like,
3 months at best.
Spoiler alert, we've got t-shirts coming in soon, just so you know. I'll be wearing one here for you shortly as soon as I get it back from our distributor. And we should have those coming in soon. If you love the channel, we've got shirts. It's not supporting the channel necessarily, kind of is.
Yeah.
But
Pay for our movie rentals.
exactly. Our movie rentals for movies we don't own. Yeah. We've got quite an extensive library, but just saying, that's coming down the pipeline.
Do we have anything for next month voting?
Fuck. I haven't posted that. That's my fault. See, this is the problem. I'm the only guy who's doing this promotions and shit. Hop on Facebook. Notorious GING.
No, I refuse to get Facebook.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
But hey, thanks for watching. Honestly, thanks for joining us on our 1 year anniversary.
I don't know why I gave him the karate salute.
It's we watched a kung fu movie, that's why.
Yeah.
But no, for real though, thanks for joining us. I hope you enjoy. We do put some effort into making these. We do put some planning into it. If you have any ideas or anything else that would suggest making these better, let us know. Yeah. We're open to interpretation and criticism. By all means, criticize the fuck out of us. We want to know what we do terribly or what we do really well.
Skin so thick.
Yeah, super thick.
It's like THICC thick.
3 C's. Let's be real. That being said, I am Dead Sprocket.
I'm Ken.
You're Ken?
I'm Ken.
Okay, he's going to go by Ken now.
Sure.
So,
Or Kirk. You can call me whatever you want.
Or I'm Tom, whatever. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of your night, evening, day, morning, whatever the fuck it is you're watching this. Yeah. And we'll see you again.
Thanks.